In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on April 19, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Milwaukee Bucks versus Indiana Pacers. This Saturday, the 5th-seeded Milwaukee Bucks are set to take on the 4th-seeded Indiana Pacers in the opening round of the NBA playoffs. These two teams saw plenty of each other during the regular season, 4 times to be exact. Milwaukee came out on top in 3 of those matchups and managed to cover the spread in all of them. Looking at their last 10 games against each other, the straight-up record is dead even at 5-5, but the Bucks have the edge against the spread, going 7-3. If you're a fan of offense, you probably enjoyed those games. The over cashed in 7 of the 10. Milwaukee will be missing Damian Lillard and Tyler Smith for this one, while the Pacers are still without Isaiah Jackson. The good news for Indiana fans is that Ben Shepherd is expected to suit up, which should give them a bit of a boost. Milwaukee really handled business against Indiana this season. They went 3-1 in the series, and that one loss, it was just by a single point. They're coming into the playoffs riding an 8-game win streak, and even without Lillard, they look sharp. There's a good chance Lillard comes back later in the series, but for now, they'll roll with what they've got. The team hasn't missed much of a beat offensively without him. They actually led the league in offensive rating over the final 10 games of the regular season. Giannis Antetokounmpo stepped up in a big way, dishing out 51 assists across his last 4 games. Indiana could struggle to match his physicality, especially with Pascal Siakam likely drawing the assignment. Siakam is talented, but he's giving up size and strength, which could lead to Giannis taking over. Indiana will look to Tyrese Halliburton to be the engine of their offense, but the Bucks had his number this season. Halliburton averaged only 17 points in those 4 regular season games and struggled from deep, hitting just 32.1% of his threes. If he can't find a rhythm early, the Pacers might be in for a tough night, especially against a team that's been leading the league in true shooting percentage down the stretch. Bobby Portis only played in 3 of those matchups, but his energy off the bench is a difference maker. Against the Pacers, he's been averaging 15 points and 11 boards, a steady double-double presence who can tilt the momentum in Milwaukee's favor. Indiana's had a strong run in 2025 and are close to full strength at home, so it's not surprising they're slight favorites. Still, Milwaukee has taken 4 of the last 6 games between these two, including a 7-point win just a few weeks back. Lillard's absence might matter later, but right now, the Bucks still have the best player on the court, and in playoff basketball, that matters. Getting points in the playoffs with the team that features the best player on the floor always carries some value. Milwaukee has been thriving as an underdog lately, covering the spread in 6 straight games in that role, and winning the last 3 of those outright. Meanwhile, the Pacers haven't been kind to bettors this season. Their record against the spread is just 36-45-1, which ranks among the league's worst. Only the Kings, Pelicans, Wizards, Suns, and 76ers have been worse in that department. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. 3 of the 4 regular season showdowns between these two teams flew past the total. The Pacers like to play fast. They rank 6th in the league in pace, and they've been efficient with their shot selection. Indiana sits 5th in field goals made per game and has a deep bench that allows them to roll out multiple scoring threats at any point in the game. They also rank 5th in fast break points and 9th in points scored in the paint. Even if Milwaukee is without Lillard, Giannis can carry the offensive load on his own. His relentless attacking style opens up the perimeter for shooters and creates driving lanes for his teammates. The Bucks are deadly from deep. They lead the league in 3-point shooting percentage and rank 8th in makes per game. These two teams cleared the projected point total in all 4 of their regular season meetings. Sure, Lillard's out in playoff games tend to slow down a bit, but this one still shapes up to be an up-tempo, back-and-forth affair. Expect Giannis and Halliburton to go head-to-head and put up big numbers. Indiana's high tempo will force Milwaukee to match their pace, and the Bucks are more than capable. They rank 14th in pace themselves. Milwaukee is also also aggressive at drawing contact. They're third in free throw attempt rate and got to the line 24 times per game in their 4 previous meetings with Indiana. Giannis and crew won't shy away from contact and should earn plenty of chances at the stripe. We should be in for an entertaining, high-scoring series opener. Both teams can get out and run, and there's more than enough offensive firepower to push this one over the total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Clippers versus Denver Nuggets. The NBA playoffs kick off with a compelling first-round matchup in the Western Conference between the 5th-seeded Los Angeles Clippers, who finished the season with a 50-32 record, and the 4th-seeded Denver Nuggets, who also posted a 50-32 mark. These two teams faced each other 4 times during the regular season, and they split those games evenly at 2 wins apiece. So, there's a lot of familiarity and not much separating them on paper. This series has all the makings of a nail-biter, and it's not just us thinking that. The odds makers see it the same way, listing the series as a straight toss-up. I'm leaning away from backing coach David Adelman here. The guy's only been on the sidelines as a head coach for 3 NBA games, and now he's being thrown into the deep end with playoff basketball. That's a tough spot for anyone. Meanwhile, the Clippers have been finishing strong, posting an impressive 18-4 straight-up record over their final 22 games. They've been locking in on the defensive end, and that could be the deciding factor when things tighten up late in the game. I trust them more to make those crucial stops. Underdogs have been my go-to since the play-in games, and so far, it's worked out well. I'm sticking with that mindset here and rolling with the Clippers. Yes, the Nuggets are tough at home, and sure, they've got the best player in the league on their side. But the Clippers have health on their side right now, and their bench runs deeper. That matters in a 7-game series. Denver's biggest concern is their bench, or lack thereof. Add in that coach Adelman is still getting his feet under him, and that creates an opening. On the other hand, Tyronn Lue knows how to coach in these moments. He's got the experience, and with time to prepare, he tends to put together solid game plans. That's a big edge. Between the Clippers' depth and Lue's coaching chops, I think Los Angeles has the upper hand in this series. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Clippers to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Offensively, these are 2 of the most dangerous teams in the league this year. Denver's offense has been a powerhouse, coming in at 4th in offensive efficiency. They're putting up 117 points per 100 possessions, and with a pace that ranks 10th in the league, about 102.3 possessions per game. That translates to 121 points per night, which puts them 3rd overall. That's a lot of firepower. The issue for the Nuggets, though, is what they give up on the other end. Their defense ranks just 22nd in efficiency, surrendering 113 points per 100 possessions. That could be a problem against a Clippers offense that's been quietly excellent, sitting 6th in both field goal percentage and 3-point accuracy. I think Los Angeles will find ways to exploit Denver's defensive gaps. Denver did win the last 2 meetings in the regular season, averaging 123 points in those games. The Clippers will need to put points up if they want to stay in the fight, especially away from home. Thankfully for them, they'll be facing the Nuggets' 25th ranked scoring defense. Both squads know how to shoot it, especially from deep, so expect a lot of scoring and not a whole lot of grinding. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus New York Knicks. The regular season and the play-in tournament are behind us, and the playoffs are finally here. The Detroit Pistons, who landed the 6th seed, are heading to New York City to square off with the 3rd-seeded Knicks in Game 1 of their first round. Best of 7 showdown this Saturday night. Detroit wrapped up the regular season with a 44-38 record, grabbing the 6th spot, but they stumbled into the postseason on a 2-game losing streak. Their last outing was a 140-133 overtime loss on the road to the Milwaukee Bucks this past Sunday. Meanwhile, the Knicks secured the 3rd seed with a strong 51-31 record, finishing their regular season on a high note with a 113-105 win at Brooklyn. Despite the difference in seeding, the Pistons actually had the upper hand in the regular season series, winning 3 out of 4 matchups, including the last 3 straight. In terms of injuries, Detroit will still be without Jaden Ivey, who remains sidelined. On the Knicks side, they're monitoring Ariel Huckforty's status, as he's listed as questionable heading into the opener. The Pistons pulled off one of the most unexpected turnarounds in recent NBA memory, managing to win 44 games and secure a playoff spot just a year after posting a brutal 14-win season. That kind of one-year leap is rare and impressive. New York, on the other hand, started the season with big hopes of competing for a title. But while they've had a solid campaign, they haven't quite measured up to the Eastern Conference's top dogs like Boston or Cleveland. Still, the postseason gives Jalen Brunson and his crew a fresh start, a chance to reset and maybe fly under the radar now that the Celtics and Cavs are clearly the teams to beat in the East. Looking at this matchup from a timing and health standpoint, this is one of the better situations the Knicks have found themselves in all year. That alone gives me reason to lean toward New York in this opening game. Tom Thibodeau's teams tend to come out of the gate sharp, especially early in the playoffs, before injuries usually start to take their toll. Just ask Og Anunoby or Brunson from last season. The Pistons, though feisty, are still a young squad, and their top player doesn't have any playoff reps. Dropping Cade Cunningham into the pressure cooker that is Madison Square Garden for his first postseason game is a tall order. The Knicks defense is likely to throw a bunch of different looks at him to disrupt his rhythm. Detroit leans heavily on isolation scoring, ranking 14th in offensive rating. But if New York succeeds in forcing the ball out of Cade's hands consistently, it may take the Pistons some time to adjust. On the flip side, Detroit will probably respond by doubling Brunson late in possessions. Still, when it comes to secondary playmakers and guys who can step up and knock down open shots, I have way more faith in New York's supporting cast than Detroit's, which puts a ceiling on the Pistons' offensive upside. I really like the gritty way Detroit plays. They don't back down from anyone, and they're not afraid to get physical. If they can drag this series into the mud, they've got a real shot to make New York uncomfortable. Plus, they've already taken the last 3 games against the Knicks. That said, this is a young team, and Game 1 could hit them like a brick wall. Most of this roster hasn't seen playoff action before. 12 players on the team are in their 3rd year or younger. Meanwhile, the Knicks are experienced, healthy, and will have the Garden crowd behind them, which is easily one of the wildest playoff atmospheres in the league. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Pistons start slow, get their bearings, and come back swinging in Game 2. All things considered, New York should have the edge here to kick off the playoffs with a win against a green Detroit squad. And for what it's worth, teams that win outright in the playoffs also tend to cover the spread. Last postseason, outright winners went 75-12-1 against the spread, which pushes the 5-year trend up to an 89.3% clip. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Lately, Detroit's been putting up points at a high rate. They've averaged 117 points per game over their last 10, which is a full point higher than their season average. They play fast too, ranking 9th in the NBA in pace with just under 100 possessions per game. The Knicks, while a bit more deliberate at 26th in pace, have also found some rhythm offensively, averaging 111 points in their last 10 while only allowing 106.5 per game. They're also 5th in offensive efficiency, so they make their possessions count. 4 of the last 5 matchups between these teams have gone over the total, and with both squads clicking on offense right now, there's a strong case to be made for another shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Los Angeles Lakers. The 2025 NBA playoffs get underway with an intriguing first-round matchup in the Western Conference as the Minnesota Timberwolves hit the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. These two teams split their 4 regular season meetings this year, each defending home court and covering the spread in all 4 games. That home team dominance adds a little extra flavor to what's already shaping up to be a tight series. Minnesota and Los Angeles arrive here from very different directions. The Timberwolves have reshaped their identity a bit since last season's run to the Western Conference Finals, while the Lakers enter the postseason led by the star pairing of LeBron James and Luka Doncic. That combo brings plenty of firepower and a solid mix of postseason seasoning and fresh chemistry from a retooled lineup. Minnesota is healthy heading into this series, which is always a plus in playoff basketball, while the Lakers are still without Maxi Kleber and Rui Hachimura. Even though the Timberwolves showed grit and tenacity last postseason, the absence of Karl Anthony Towns leaves a pretty noticeable hole in their offensive structure. Julius Randle brings scoring punch but doesn't quite stretch the floor or offer the same versatility that Towns did. That means even more of the offensive burden falls on Anthony Edwards' shoulders, and that's a tall task against a battle-tested Lakers defense that's built to grind teams down in the playoffs. On the flip side, the Lakers are rolling into this series with plenty of momentum and the kind of top-end talent that can tilt a series. LeBron's track record in first-round matchups speaks for itself, 15 wins and just 2 losses. was, and now he's got Luka Doncic beside him, fresh off a finals run with a Dallas team that didn't have half the talent this Lakers squad does. Luka adds elite shot creation and the ability to control tempo, especially in tight, late-game situations, something that's always been a playoff difference maker. If you're into numbers, the Lakers finished the regular season with a 45-35-2 mark against the spread, and they were even better at home, going 21-11 against the spread, the fourth best home cover rate in the league. Defensively, they're still a work in progress, ranking 11th in points allowed, and they're adjusting on the fly after trading Anthony Davis. But their late-game offense and ability to execute in crunch time, thanks to Luka and LeBron, is something you can't ignore. The regular season series between these two played out with complete home court dominance. The home team went 4-0 straight up and against the spread. Their last meeting came back in February, where the Lakers won by 9 as 6-point favorites. Minnesota finished the regular season strong, ripping off 3 straight wins, but the week-long break they had to take might hurt more than it helps. They haven't had to deal with that kind of downtime all season. The Lakers, meanwhile, have been banged up, and yeah, they're not the youngest team out there, but they've paced themselves well. With their rotation more rested than rusty, this is a real chance for them to come out swinging and take firm control early. Los Angeles has covered 6 of the last 10 matchups against Minnesota, and that trend could very well continue here. Minnesota definitely has the talent to pull off the upset, especially if the Lakers go cold from deep. But I'm not sure the line is giving the Lakers enough respect in this spot. With both Doncic and James locked in, this feels like the kind of game where they come out and send a message. As our first pick for this matchup, the Los Angeles Lakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. All 4 games during the regular season between these teams stayed under the total, with the combined scoring average landing at just 200 points per contest. Both squads are capable offensively, but their defenses have had the edge when they face each other. The Lakers really rely on LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves to do most of the heavy lifting on offense. But after that, things thin out quickly. Minnesota leans heavily on Anthony Edwards, who's never shy about taking shots, sometimes a lot of them. With both teams getting a full week of rest, there's a good chance the offenses start off a little rusty. The stakes are higher now, the pressure is real, and that tends to slow things down, especially early. History backs it up too. The under has hit in 6 of the last 10 meetings between these two. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.